There was Gorilla House, then there was the Rumble House. Now there's the Isle of Roux, where no one can tell us what to do. Welcome to the Isle of Roux.
I'm not getting it. Or
It
that
is
me?
so nice to see you.
Wait, is this me? No, that's me from before. What are you wearing? It's not showing up.
It just came up.
Slow? Where she be? No, look it. I got nothing.
There.
Is it shared to the Isle of Roux? Or is that you?
Rumble House.
Rumble House?
Yeah.
Come on. Come on.
All right.
Come on. Come on, Louie. Go on without me, Louie.
No.
I'm no good.
No man left behind.
I'm no good, Louie. What?
No man left behind.
Uh-huh.
The Creator gifted us with this land that we are blessed to share and care for together. We acknowledge that the land we gather on Mokinstis is the ancestral territory of the Siksika, Sitapi, the Siksika, the Gaina, the Pigani, and the Amskapi Pigani. We acknowledge all First Nations and Métis of Treaty 7 lands, the Sutena, the Ithkabi, which includes Bearspaw, Chiniki, and Goodstony. We commit to advancing reconciliation guided by truth, respecting treaty laws, and humbly walking alongside First Nations, Métis, and Inuit. We recognize all who live, work, play, and make art on these lands, and who now call this place home. We're so grateful to be here with you guys, making art. Yay! We got Theo and Kelly, and just earlier before we... Oh, hi, Scott. Just earlier before we got going on the live feed, Zach Abbott and Nishi joined us from Japan. We had a tour around what looked like very sacred and beautiful lands.
I got the wrong. Whoa, here we go. What are you making tonight?
Watercolor.
Water.
I'm just trying to think of what.
Hey, did you finish that little hand pot?
Yeah, it's drying in our house here. I think I might take it in to fire it.
Yeah.
You fired.
Yeah, I'll take it in. I have to think. What kind of glazing?
Can't say glazing.
That was my next question.
What colors?
Yeah. What were you gonna do?
I know.
Design-wise with it.
So when it was still dry, I was rubbing with the back of the spoon, and it's just got this really beautiful, like, smooth texture on it from the spoon. Yeah. So now I'm wondering, I might just do a super simple glaze to just like amplify that smoothness, because there's like...
I was just watching a second ago a product that you put on clay. And he used a blowtorch, but it probably works in the kiln too, where the chemical turns to metal under heat.
I was thinking of getting something special because I'm also waiting to fire this one.
What's that called though? It's called like liquid silver or paint on silver.
Yeah, there is. I was looking at that one at the beginning of 1 year too, actually, and I wonder if we can, because the same thing. I saw people using a blowtorch. I saw people using like mini kilns. So I think.
What's it called?
Let's look.
So the one I saw today was some sort of like metal. It was called. It was like, I don't remember what kind of metal it was, but it was definitely metal. And then the one you showed me was silver, which is even nicer. What are you humming?
I'm just very curious.
Can you do raku?
Not really.
I wonder, is raku...
We need a bonfire.
Yeah, that one's a little bit more natural because we have the gas, automatic gas kilns in our classes. Yeah.
Yes, take advantage of the community equipment. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the challenges is actually getting the kilns filled, right? So Jess and I will often I'll carry my clay over to Jess's school to get a full kiln.
Yep.
If we end up with like 1.5, we'll often because it is a bit of a blight when it comes to energy glutton.
True.
Why Scott at the Bella? Scott's at the Bella.
Wow, there's lots of shows going on.
We bought our yearly tickets to the
Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol. I'm sorry, can I get you to move a bit?
Yes.
Sorry, I just want to get off this camera's in my face. And get a crick in the neck.
Oh, Bisqueware. Oh. Uh-oh, now I'm looking at Dark Star Cosmo glaze. Uh-oh. It's a cone 5. That's a bit higher firing. Maybe.
That's the big thing. Is that we're probably not going to put the fancy glazes on because it's school.
Yeah, like I have some higher firing glazes at school because we had porcelain at one time, but it's just then you have to have a billion separate firings for the glaze kiln and the bisque firing.
Deal.
Hey,
sorry.
Broadcast.
I found vintage gold glaze pint.
What does that mean?
It's like vintage gold is a glossy metallic glaze, develops small triangular gold crystals, dark halos, glittering patina.
Is it actual gold? Like low-fat blueberry muffins could mean that there's muffins with low-fat blueberries in them.
Right.
So, like, you gotta be a little bit careful with what you're getting pitched, right? That could be like a tone.
Well,
could be like aubergine.
Yeah, it's not. It's from Sounding Stones in Winnipeg. They have really nice glazes.
Sounds pretty solid.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. Like, I don't want gold, like expensive gold. I just.
I thought you did.
No, I want like.
I didn't want you to order like gold color and find out it's just like plastic or something.
True.
How about we do this later?
Okay.
Good idea.
Oh my god.
Hey, Rich.
How about we do this later?
Did Galen say he saw me during October, like November 1st?
No.
Oh, he didn't? Okay.
Sure was Galen?
Galen.
At the haunted house?
Yeah. Yeah, I ran into him. I was like, he didn't even know who it was because I had a mask. I had a mask on and everything, and I said, "Hi, Galen," and he's like, "Who are you?"
When you have a mask on and you say "Hi, Galen," is it because you're being funny, or do you think they're going to know who you are?
He should know from the voice.
Okay.
But then I had to tell him it was me, and he was like, "Oh." So I said to tell him, I told him to say hi to you, that you saw me.
All the teachers, are struggling to survive right now. They're not. We don't want to talk to each other because we remind each other of being teachers.
Okay, this is interesting. I did find a black metallic raku glaze that fires at a 0.6 kiln.
Is that raku glaze or raku colored glaze? glaze?
It's raku. So it's like a low fire. So 0.6 cone.
Can you tell me what raku means?
It's like I think it has to do with adding materials after too, though, because hold on, raku. I had in my head it was outdoor firing.
I thought it had to do with heat.
Yeah, it's like a low fire.
But what does raku mean specifically?
I'm looking.
Well, you're burning. Usually, it means you're burning stuff into your ceramic.
Yeah, totally. So raku firing, fast pottery technique that involves removing red hot pieces from the kiln and placing them in containers with combustible materials like newspaper, straw. I've seen this guy do it with hair, like horsehair and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like other materials that add.
So how are you going to do that in the kiln? Or is it just raku colored?
Create a reduction atmosphere. I have to research that more. Fire. Yeah, because that's just. Yeah, because raku you have to take out, and I can't take it out of the kiln when it's 1800.
I think they're just like. I think this is like
like you said,
there's
looks
bigger
like
questions,
raku.
and this is the kind of thing that we can just ask an expert too, right? Like if we're guessing while you're ordering stuff. Not wanting to let crap on your dreams, by the way. It's nice that you're thinking of this.
Yes, it is a Japanese firing, Scott. You're totally right. You're not crapping on my dreams.
I just feel super skeptical when somebody says, "Oh, buy this raku glaze." It's like, what are you saying? Like,
yeah,
I got some gold paint over there, but guess what? Plastic.
My
It'll be a glaze that imitates the effects of raku.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's still saying reduce in your choice of combustible materials. So actually, it's probably just a glaze that works well with raku. So I couldn't use that either way.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah. I have limited material, machinery. See, this is a pewter metallic stoneware glaze, so that's more what I need because it's pewter, it's metallic, but it's still stoneware. That's more what I need. Huh. So yeah, it's an adventure. Because I have some nice glazes. And I bought some of the higher fire stuff, but I used the stoneware clay. Yeah, totally, Scott. The firing at the 1800s is not a problem. It's the pulling it out at that hot temperature that is a problem.
Well, we wouldn't even be there.
Well, no, that's what I mean. It's a fast firing. So that's like you raise it up and then you drop the temperature. So that's why it's more like on a manual kiln. That would be really good. Thinking of bunnies. Okay. What am I going to paint?
What was the best part of your day so far?
This is really nice. Sitting down to make art with you. Dinner was really nice.
That was a good dinner,
Yeah, this and dinner. How about you?
I had some nice moments with the kids. Oh, I know what it was. So my grade 9s and half my grade 10s are in quarters, so I'm not going to see them anymore. And I left a doodle out on the table and noticed somebody was duplicating my doodle. That was pretty nice. And then we traded my doodle for their doodle. So
that's a really nice gift.
That was probably the nicest part of my day. And then what else? Actually really enjoyed shooting photos because I brought my new old camera to school and the sky was just incredible. And I was able to
Nice.
remember my settings from this morning, which was nice. Because I feel like I'm growing a new person in my head right now.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've been shooting photos since I was 17. And when I say that, that doesn't even take into account that I used to use, I shot Super 8 when I was in grade 5 up until high school. So the only thing is this camera's the first time I've ever gone completely solo without a light meter. And so now I am the light meter. I like being my own light meter because I've been shooting photos for long enough. But I've always been doing it in terms of functionality. And I also have always made use of like the auto
light reading and stuff.
Light reading, yeah. So I've been shooting for composition and typical sort of painting techniques, but not and lighting, but not for like the lighting of the quality lighting.
Yeah, like being able to play with the softness and the hardness of lines is kind of reminds me of watercolor too. Like
the photos.
As soon as you learn those things, like I never learned it either. Then you start seeing things differently again.
It's just so difficult to get like wound up for it if you have the option for that. Theo, just to let you know, I clicked the mute because the it was a while ago. The your water jar is quite near the I think your speaker, or it's just picking up the sound quite a bit. So if you speak to us, make sure you unclick your mute. Also, I will tell you that I was listening to The Shining on my drive out to Cochrane today.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the point where
Room 217?
No, I was going to say, no, it's more about when he starts drinking again.
Mm.
And it was really kind of pulling at my heartstrings. Like, he gives this speech about giving up the wagon.
Giving up the wagon.
Yeah. And it was a compelling speech. Felt really inspired to give up the wagon today. And then, getting my pens back was pretty special. Like, you and I live on such a tight budget because we're always doing, it's my fault, doing things to, we get money, but then we give it all away. And
I'm just getting water from my water bottle.
The last time that I was right on, like, in like indulging in giving away mode was the same week where we thought we were kind of up, and then we what are you getting?
Water.
Oh, okay.
What do you want?
Nothing. Just curious. we were up and we're making some money at the record store despite the strike. And then we lost the fob to our apartment, which is fine because we have 2 fobs. But to get the fob back, our extra fob, because there's 2 of us, costs like $280. So then, like, you work all day selling records, and then at the end of the day, you lose your fob. You're like, cost me $600 to, not $600, but you know what I mean. It was funny. So when we found that fob, it was like finding $200.
Ta-da!
And that was nice. What?
A mister? Is that a mister? You're a mister.
Oh, mister.
Does it not work?
I miss staircases that went like to strange places. I feel like that was a very 90s thing in this city. Like that Vietnamese place that had that random sort of staircase, and then after they moved out, it just sort of turned into like an escape route. It's super quiet. Are our speakers not working? Is everybody off?
Muted.
Am I able to unmute? Theo, were you talking to us?
No.
Could you?
Well, I noticed that it's unmuted, but I didn't unmute it. So
I muted it, and then I unmuted it. It just got super quiet.
well, I was disappeared. I went upstairs to replenish my glass of wine.
Ah,
That is nice.
that's why you were so quiet.
I was very quiet.
Be there.
You have to be very quiet, or you can't catch the wabbit.
Yeah. That humor came up quite a bit when we were hunting, actually. There's this video where Jess shoots the duck and everybody cheered, but she also shot the gun like right over my head 3 times. And then when she got the duck, she started doing this like, I just killed a duck dance. I was like, give me the gun. I'll hold the gun. How about I hold the gun right now?
Way to go, Jess.
When we were on our way out, the Liam was a friend we were with, was like, I can't wait to see the bloodlust on these guys when they kill, after they kill their first whatever. And you're like, I'm like, I don't even think I'm going to kill something. And then once you start killing, the killing won't stop.
Well,
It's actually really interesting
it's
because
duck. You know, you're going to get a meal out of it, right? So
True.
that's
We did get a
about
meal
as
out of
far
it.
as I take it.
But we also went for a hike with the cameras the other day, and I really wanted to go look at something, but I couldn't because it was off the path. And it took me years to learn that you don't go off the path, but apparently when you're hunting, all bets are off. That was the thing that shocked me about hunting is we killed a duck, but we also stepped on a lot of plants.
Did you have to wear, because it's duck hunting, I guess it's a little different. I was going to say colored blazes.
There was no assigned
So
uniform.
that people won't mistake you for a duck. They'll see you very easily. Mind you, you're only supposed to shoot ducks in the air, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. we didn't wear anything special. I just wore my like overalls and
To be honest, the stuff we have is such high quality that it's probably the stuff you would have bought for the purpose of duck hunting either way. We're pretty lucky in that sense that we don't really have very much stuff, but the stuff we do have is usually kind of quality. And that probably started for me when I was a bike courier.
Mm-hmm.
Because I started out wanting to be all traditional with rubber, cotton, and wool. And then I very quickly decided I would much rather
Be warm
blue line here.
and dry.
Well,
And luminous. Yes.
Mm.
Yes, because, people that drive cars do it with their eyes closed.
well, I don't know what it's like now for couriers, but I can tell you at the time there was a social stigma to not running over your courier. And I would think if you were an Alberta judge working downtown and a courier came into court with the lawsuit because they lost a leg or something, you'd probably like, I hate those guys, the way they're always cutting in and out of traffic. So I really felt like you wouldn't go an hour without somebody honking their horn at you. And the very first day I did it, I was working this was when I started with Fireball. So I guess I'd been doing it. No, I think I was with Riley's actually. But my very first day as a bike courier, I remember recognizing this one guy, and I'd seen him around somewhere. But when I was like, oh, that guy's a courier too. And I looked up, and he got off his bike, and he threw his bike off from the street across the road onto the sidewalk. I always thought that was really strange, throwing your bicycle. And then he reached into a car and he started throttling this guy. And he was basically beating the guy from the, he had him sort of by the collarbone or the shirt, and he was sort of dragging him to the windshield, to the steering wheel. It's sort of bouncing him off his car. And he was manically screaming, if you ever honk your horn at me again, I'll kill you. And I was like, wow, that guy's really like over the top. Like, part of me is like, got to get to know that guy. And part of me is like, stay away from that guy. And it only took a couple days before I felt the exact same way. Like if the next person that honks their horn at me is going to get a throttling. And I think probably the rest of my life, I carried a bit of rage when it came to car horns. And actually, the corner we were on at the Rumble House was at a bad intersection where daily there would be, I think people just sort of have this idea. They might even not be working downtown very often, but they have this idea that when they're downtown, when in Rome, it's time to like lay on the horn and
like New York, like.
Yeah, like they saw it in a movie once. But the thing that, and there was one really satisfying time because we live downtown and I was walking down the street and this guy just in a truck lays on his horn. And I went up to the car and tapped on the window because I'm walking down the street and I'm like, listen, man. He's like, I wasn't even honking at you. I'm like, yeah, but you're honking at that guy in that car. And that guy in that car is in a sealed vehicle and you're in a sealed vehicle. But all of us, we people, were on the street here. And he's like, you make a really good point. I'm sorry. And I was like, no one's ever said that to me. Like, I was in shock. So
that's a nice moment.
He understood he was at
That's
lunch.
why the photon lasers are so much better.
Do you have a photon laser?
Sadly, no. But, they are much better.
In theory, yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, the explosion and the bits of hot metal dripping all
Right.
over the place. And the shock wave, that can be kind of hard on everyone around, too.
Are photon lasers from Star Trek specifically?
I have no idea, but it sounds good.
Funny? Okay, gotcha.
Ooh, you are drawing and painting a bar scene.
Yeah.
I hope that's a coffee bar, Rich.
Or is that in the Stanley Hotel?
This is Rich falling off the wagon.
Rich. I like the idea of painting that out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe I don't.
You call it that. You call it what you need to, but
Scott has a Elmer Fudd story on the thing. He said, my cousin was playing Elmer Fudd and Bugs Bunny at my uncle's farm in the barn. The shotgun was loaded. He got shot directly in the abdomen. 5 operations later, Christopher is okay. Oh, no.
when was this?
Maybe when you were little. Say it was when you were little. Please say it.
And say it was bird shot because, if it was double lot, you'd be dead.
Yeah. Oh, no. And Gina was texting earlier. She took a 6-week course in the UK with the raku. Feathers have a cool effect, salt wool, flowers. That's really cool. I said one day we're going to have land and we're going to do some raku.
Yeah. I got this funny story for you.
Ja.
So Jesse and I bought these 2 vintage cameras, and our reasons for buying the cameras might be a little different than the common reasons for buying the cameras. And while I was looking for the camera that I really wanted, I stumbled across the camera that I got for Jessie. And so her camera was made when her dad was made. My camera was made the month I was conceived. And I had remembered her saying that with her Pentax Spotmatic, she has a hard time shooting indoors. So 2 weeks ago, I was at the camera store looking at the camera that I ended up buying for Jessica. And then on Saturday, while my camera was coming in the mail, I took her into the store to take a look at the camera that I really wanted. She won't let me buy her anything. And then so while we're buying the camera, the gentleman there is really sweet. Like, I guess I gave him an umbrella years ago. And so so he remembers us, and he's really polite to us. But he was so eager about selling Jessie this camera, he started telling us this funny story about an idiot the week before that asked if he could shoot photos inside. As in, like, we're not selling it to that guy. And then I was like, does he even know that I'm that guy? Like, I maybe had my hat and my toque on, so maybe he wasn't thinking or recognizing, but I think he was talking about some idiot that didn't know if he could shoot inside or not. And he was saying it to the idiot that said it. And it's funny because I was really just repeating something Jess said that didn't really make sense to me, but I thought it might make sense to him. You know, like, why is she having trouble shooting inside? But I think there's this kind of like, we really struggled to not do it at the gallery. And we struggled, definitely it wasn't a struggle to not do it at the record store, because we didn't want to be cliches at the record store. But there is this weird sort of like snobbery that happens sometimes. And I plan to spend quite a bit more money on camera lenses. And that is my favorite store.
Yeah. But
I'll be specifically going in to make sure that I'm not talking to the guy that accidentally told me about the idiot that that was me.
Oh dear. Yeah, they used to be a client of ours before they stopped being Mac VARs.
What's Mac VARs?
Value added reseller. They don't sell Macs anymore.
What's value added on a Mac?
That's just what term they used if you were a third party seller.
Oh, I see.
And Apple pretty much eliminated the concept of value-added resellers. Now, if you're selling Apple kit, you're a giant corporation, or you're the Apple Store.
Isn't it the Apple Store also a giant corporation?
Yeah, it is, but it is Apple, you know.
Do you remember a store that sold Apple computers in 1980 on McLeod Trail?
On McLeod Trail,
yeah,
that's
a little bit north of where Chinook is, kind of where the Days Inn is. All right.
I know, sorry, I've hit you like 5 times.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
How well I handled that. On the inside, I'm screaming.
I know. I bless you.
Do you remember that store, Theo?
Yep.
You don't remember what it's called, do you?
Well, I should, but the building's still standing. If I
it is. There's a couple spots on that McLeod Trail that carry like childhood nostalgia for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's all computer trends.
What?
Computer trends.
So what it was?
McLeod Trail?
Yep.
In 1980?
Yep.
And it was kind of like something like a little boutique that might be like a. Okay.
Yep. Well, it's the same thing. Like my last real job was at Westworld. They were the same idea.
Where was Westworld on McLeod Trail? Kind of near the old co-op?
Westworld originally was on McLeod Trail at about Center Street and McLeod Trail and about
11th Ave.
About I want to say 10th.
Yeah. You know, what year were you there last?
At Westworld?
Yeah.
Well, they had moved by that time and they were up at the top of the hill on Center Street.
Oh yeah. Next to that Vietnamese place. Panda.
And no, it was an office tower of some ilk.
But I kind of remember that one being on Center Street and kind of near around.
Yeah. And that's where they started.
Yeah.
And and I started there in 2011, something like that. Left in 2013.
Because I'll tell you, around 2010 or 9, I was teaching at St. Mike's School. Yeah. They had 3 leftover Macs that used to be at St. Mary's. So when the St. Mary's got upgraded, our school got like 3 kind of older desktop Macs. And to that school, they thought that they'd like joined the NASA program with these Macintoshes. And I got there and they wanted me to teach media, which was fine. But it turned out that this was around that time where they got a good deal on Sony cameras. And they got 3 free Macs, but nobody did a test to see if Mac and Sony was compatible, because Mac and Sony had a beef, and it was the only video camera and computer that were separate, blank screen operating when you tried to plug them in. So I taught a multimedia class where every single project the kids brought in, I had to transfer in real time on my laptop before I could assess them on the computers, and that was a grind. But one of my Macs died. I tell this story all the time. I probably told it to you before, but I don't know if I ever told you it was Westworld. One of my Macs died, and I went to go get it fixed because I absolutely needed it.
Yeah.
And I was sent with the vice principal to go get this Mac fixed. And I think this is my theory. Oh, I can tell you what year it was. Whatever year the reboot of Star Trek came out. With
got me there, mate.
So I'm just like, I'm painting right now.
Yeah.
If it was relevant to the story, I would look it up. But I walked into the Westworld, and I'm trying to tell the guy, like, I need this computer fixed. And I can kind of tell, I'm waiting for him to say it so that I could just tell him the truth. He's kind of figured in his own mind that I'm going to be super thrilled when he tells me that I can have a brand new computer for half the cost of fixing this desktop, right? Like he's kind of bringing up like the buildup of, I'm going to be unusually rude to you right now. But
did you tell him you were from the Catholic School Board?
No.
So, because one of the things that at Westworld, that was one of their big money earners, was they did all of the Apple installs through both school boards.
Well, and that's why it was there, but it was also at a time where we'd stopped using Mac. So it was kind of a big deal where we had Macs and there was a connection with Westworld, and then somebody took over and was anti-Mac. And so I had a Mac and my life depended on it, and they would not buy me a new computer. But I could get this one fixed at any cost, was how school boards work. So this guy, he's kind of like being unnecessarily rude to me because he thinks any minute he's going to surprise me with this piece of knowledge, and I'm going to be so grateful that I will forget how rude he was. And so I'm waiting for him to shut up so that I can kind of explain to him that, well, the thing is, it's more complicated to think because I work for a bureaucracy and they're stupid. But he also wasn't getting me to the reveal. He was just being a super turd. and I remember I was standing there with Duvois. Do you remember Duvois? And he kind of goes, "Oh, let me just go check something," and he tears off to the back. And she's like, "I can't believe how rude he's being. I'm gonna stab him." And I'm like, "Let me handle this." And when he comes back, I knew I was gonna catch heat from this because at the time I was still a closet Star Trek fan. But I said, "You never tell anybody about this." And she's like, "Tell everybody about what?" And the guy comes back and he's like, "Hey man, I don't want to be like a cliche or anything, but what did you think of the new Star Trek?" And he goes, "Nuclear fusion warp drive." And he just starts freaking out. And he goes in the back and he gets me a blue pop that he was calling Romulan ale. And they completely shifted his behavior from like abusive and mean to supportive and loving. And it was just because I knew to make a Star Trek crack. And I think about that every time I think about Westworld. But I also was going to say, on McLeod Trail, when I moved to Calgary as a kid, there were a couple of kind of exciting things. And one was, like I said, we bought a Apple II Plus at that store on McLeod Trail. And I have such vague memories. It looks like a lot of the other storefronts on that street. So from Chinook to downtown.
Well, if you bought an Apple II, that's going back into the 80s.
Apple II Plus.
Yeah, that's very early 80s.
Yeah. And it was a carpeted floor. And I remember just going, and the whole place smelled like plastic, burning plastic. And I remember my parents were really keen about this computer because they thought it was going to revolutionize the world. And it did. And I remember we were going there all the time because you start by getting a Mac or an Apple II Plus. You go home, you're like, "Oh, wait a minute, we need a monitor." So we went back up, bought a monitor, and then we got a second monitor. And then we got an extra disk drive so we could pirate stuff. And I remember there was a moment there where I got a little paddle controller, and I was jonesing so hard for the joystick that was like a block that was this big with a tiny little. Yeah. Every time I drive by there, I would think to myself, "Oh, I wish I could remember what that store was called and find some reference to it." The other store on McLeod Trail that really meant the world to me was there was a bookstore in Meadow Village or whatever. It's whatever outdoor malls just north of South Center Mall. And that's where the first video store I ever saw appeared from. My mom bought a video tape recorder. This was like a VCR, but it was called a VTR. And we got it a year before anybody I knew what that was. So I went to school in Marlborough, and I told the kids at school that my mom bought this box that would record TV shows, and they're all like, "That's crazy, you're a liar." And I was like, "No, and in a couple of years you'll be able to rent videos." And that, like, I was talking space talk to these kids.
Burn him, he's a witch.
Yeah. But so there was a bookstore there. There was a computer store closer to Chinook, and then in the same, what's that Meadows called? Like Red, whatever it's called.
Avenida Mall? No.
Something like that. And I just remember also there was this the first video store. And I guess this time of year I think about it every year because we'd been living in Vancouver, so I kind of missed a winter. And it was the first time it snowed, and we went to the video store, and we rented Grease, and my sister and I watched Grease like 17 times in a row.
Because you could.
Sounds about right. Yeah. So the other store that was on Computer Trends, I think, I can't remember it, but anyway, the guy that owned that was one of the partners in that store. He was the one who sold me my first Apple. It was a 2CI, and he was working at a place that sold Macs downtown.
Yeah.
And they'd been trying successually in Petro-Canada's case to get a whole bunch of the Macintosh and the 2Xs into Petro-Canada. So that was nice of them because that allowed me to learn PageMaker and Adobe Illustrator and get paid to do that. So that was nice.
And the time you owned did you say you used PageMaker on an Apple IIc?
2CI, yeah.
What did a CI look like?
Oh, it was a tiny. Well, do you know what the original big square Macintoshes looked like? You know, Okay, well, the 2CI was about a 2/3 size.
We had an Apple II Plus that was the one you see in the magazines. We had an Apple IIc, which was like a little briefcasey one that we never actually won.
Oh yeah, no. This was the what we'll call the first desktop.
Okay.
First desktop Macs beyond the Macintosh. The Macintosh coming with its own little 2-bit black scale monitor. But yeah, the 2X and the 2i, or the Macintosh 2 anyway, and the 2CI, they both had good graphics cards in them for the time and could drive color monitors. Yeah. I remember at Petro Canada, yeah, there'd be this lovely 21-inch radius color monitor that cost like $6,000. It was almost, well, it cost as much as the Mac. The Macs, I think at that time, the twos with loaded stuff were about 12,000 in total. And I know my 2CI, I got that with the 21-inch grayscale monitor and the 13-inch color, both Apple kits, and that worked out to around 10 grand in 1980, 88. Yeah.
It is. Sorry.
Still have it. It last worked as a blacklist server when we still had our company running here in Calgary.
That sounds badass.
Mm-hmm.
Blacklist server.
Oh yeah, it's great. You just it would just check the IP address of whoever was sending, and like we were blocking, entire countries, Russia in particular. So some of our clients, could you, I can't. Oh yeah, okay. What's the exact IP of the person that you want to get this email from? And okay, we'll unblock that, because it was just otherwise just being an email admin, you'd go nuts if you weren't blocklisting a whole ton of the internet, because all it was being used for is to generate spam.
Did you say this was Calgary Freenet?
Calgary Freenet?
Yeah. Did you use Freenet?
No.
Dial-up?
No. We our company was we did our own serving.
Oh, okay.
Everything, yeah.
I remember getting hired at CyberSurf, free internet, 3Web, free internet for life. And then the year that it stopped being free, it was like free internet, not for life.
Yep. Yeah, things, conditions changed in the internet world as things. I mean, we can all remember the original motto of Google, I believe, was "Do no evil." Well, apparently that got in the way of making tons of money by being assholes. So they went that route instead. So,
can you tell me a little bit about what Google does that's so assholic?
That is so assholic?
Yeah.
They basically are a monopoly on who gets to do what via browsers.
Oh.
I mean, they're a search engine ostensibly,
yeah.
But because of the advertising that they pull through and push on to people, they're a doorway for everyone to use the intertubies. Yeah.
I have all those moments memorized. I remember getting my first Apple II Plus. I remember the first time I played a video game. I remember the first time I programmed anything. I remember when we went from the Apple II Plus to the Apple IIc. I remember the first time I saw small text, right? Because it used to be all caps. I remember the first time I saw video on a computer screen. I was at West Canadian Graphics, and there was a 5-second clip of Tom Cruise getting screamed at by Jack Nicholson. But and it was just in a little like 1-inch screen on the TV because that's the entire computer could hold 5 seconds at like I remember all those stages. When I wrote my first book about a vampire, it's 300 pages long on an Apple IIc. An Apple Apple IIc. Wait, that doesn't sound right. Apple. What did I just say? The one that had.
What year was it?
Well, I always got the old one. So my mom just got a new Mac, and I think it was the Apple IIc that I wrote my book on. So it was like 5-inch floppies, and I had to save my book in 10-page sections, and then each 10-page section would. I think I could hold more than 10 pages on my program on my computer, but the discs could only hold 10 pages at a time. So I had to like break my book up into hard disks, and then at one point I was stretching and I kicked the wall where it was plugged in, and I unplugged inadvertently the laptop while I was writing, and I lost, I think I was about 260 pages into my book, and I lost 40 pages, and I don't think I wrote for another 4 or 5 years. It's like, well, I'm not doing that again. And then now I'll kick the plug. I used to kick the plug and lose like hundreds of pages, and once you sort of get through it, it's not so bad. I think a lot of times the second time you write something is usually better anyway. So
you're supposed to have learned from the first time that autosave is a good thing.
That used to be like one of those, like, okay, you wear glasses, somebody tries your glasses on, 1,000% they're gonna go, whoa, you're blind. And then like if somebody's computer is lost, you could kind of like sit there and go, oh, save off, and like there's certain things you can say that'll really hurt people.
Yeah. Well, after you get burned once, you're supposed to learn from that. That's all I'm saying.
That's called autism.
And if you don't, well, you can just say, oh, well, we'll try again.
Yeah.
I really like retyping stuff. Yes.
Well, it wasn't even so much the typing, is that what I found is that I learned the pattern that losing something and having to do it twice often led to a better product. So yes, I probably suffered from recognizing there was some merit to being forced to rethink myself rather than sticking to my first idea.
Well, yeah, that's the editing thing, right? Some folks just they do some drafts and they decide they all suck, and then they start again from the initial premise, and that's better.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that, only without the benefit of using a computer. Yeah,
pretty good.
Typing, on an old, on paper, unless your house burned down, you did have backup.
I know. That's how I feel about my records right now.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, physical media is, it's an entirely different headspace than the digital world.
My new book, I think, is the best thing I've ever written, but it might be ahead of its time.
I want to read it. Send me a copy.
I would love to send you a copy.
That's a great idea. Yeah, we'll send.
I am between books at the moment anyway, so
this is a nice short one. I think you'll like it. Actually, it's about you.
Good heavens!
Did you
have my permission?
On the opening page of the book, he's stuck because he finished his book and the bookstore doesn't open till morning. So he's like, I think the line goes, "I'd make a cup of tea just to read the tea leaves right now."
There you go.
I actually remember like the weekend I started reading. I finished my second book. I think I started on a Thursday and I read Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I finished my second book at about 11, maybe 10 on a Sunday night. And I was like, I was just jonesing for another book. I was like, how could I possibly another book right now. I was almost ready to go to 7-Eleven and see if they had any books. Like,
I just finished 2 books. One was a graphic novel interpretation of my brilliant friend by an Italian author who's I've forgotten, and it was kind of interesting. I think I'd like to read the actual books. And then the other one was the latest by Georgia Taves, called Nobody Asked for This. And it's a good book, but if you're looking for kind of resolution at the end of it, a lot like her mother's books, there isn't really actually a resolution. You've just lived a period of life through the main character and the characters around her. Which is good, because I finished the book. I tried reading her first one and I got halfway in and I had lost all sympathy for the main character, and I just said, yeah, I can't handle this anymore. I just stopped reading.
You decided you didn't like the main character?
Not so much that I didn't like it. It was just it was causing too much emotional distress.
No.
Yeah. Let's just say that her novels, both of them, involve a lot of self-reflection. Yeah. And in the character in the first one, she just kept kind of making the same mistakes over and over again. And I was getting, probably because I did like the character, I just couldn't handle it anymore.
Yeah.
That's fair.
There was a movie called, I think it was called Romeo's Bleeding. And I was just so traumatized that the main character was so stupid, and he kept doing this, like, the worst solutions for problems over and over again. And it's like, you know what? I give up. I hope he does. Like, I can't keep hoping for this guy, because he's a walking time bomb.
Yep. Yeah, I know. It's intriguing to read books and think about the author process when you've been beaten to death by their prose. And yeah.
Well, you won't suffer any of that in my book.
Oh, okay, that's good, I guess. I mean, I really like the cover that you created for it. So,
I feel like it's my best work, but it might be ahead of its time.
Oh, well, what's
I also kind of wrote it with a different sort of plan in mind. And by that, I mean, I kind of thought, you know what? It's such a fight to get recognition on the shelves. Even once you get your book in the store, your book gets kind of.
Yeah.
And Chapters used to be really good about having book signings, which would bring attention to your book. And when we had the gallery, it was easy to get read, because we had friends and family that wanted to buy the book through the gallery. And I'm not sure how authentic my bestseller in Calgary was. It might be because I just had a lot of friends that wanted my book. But in this case, I specifically wrote the book with the intention of anybody that finishes it will probably say to whatever 10-year-old they know, I got this book you need to read. And that's actually like the energy in the book is designed for somebody that was told, you'll probably like this.
There you go. Well, and if you're going to do book signings, I mean, there's a few good independent bookstores in town. Forget friggin' Chapters.
No, and actually, so the nice thing about not going through Chapters was the first book I had, Stop Making Art and Die. I was so thrilled to be in a bookstore that whenever my friends go, where can I get the book? I just see Chapters, and it was such a thrill to go into Chapters and see my book.
Yeah, no, I can dig that.
Second book, I'll probably say this online, not entirely crazy about the welcoming nature of one of the bookstores in Calgary that counts for the way they register. The way they register bestsellers in Calgary is based on 3 bookstores, and so Chapters isn't one of them. So if you want to hit the bestseller list, you're better off promoting the 3 bookstores, Shelf Life, Owl's Nest, and Pages. And so, since one of those stores I can't stand, it got really easy because I could recommend people go to Shelf Life. And I quite like Owl's Nest too. Yeah. But also, once you get a book published, you can play little tricks like going in and asking the guy at the store if they have a book. And, you know, if it turns out that guy thinks he knows who you are and says it's a good book, but he's kind of a jerk, you might wonder if they know what you actually look like when they say it to your face.
That's funny.
I think I went to Pages once and I asked if they had a book by Rich Theroux because I was looking for my book. I said, well, I didn't want to say by Rich Theroux in case they knew who I was, but I wanted a copy of my book. And the guy at the counter was like, oh, I heard about that guy. I was like, I don't know what you heard, man, but
can I just have a coffee?
I'm told he's pretty nice. I've only heard nice things. It's not true. I've heard lots of not nice things. But maybe he was just responding to, maybe he met one of our, you know, detractors who was suffering from whatever they were suffering from at the time. Richitis. And my goal for this book was to write the kind of book that people would say, oh, like my niece is a brand new teacher and one of the kids in her class keeps coming up at Christmas that she'd like to strangle him. And maybe that new teacher would like to read my book. And then somebody else might say, oh, yeah, Mark's been suspended again. So I've heard.
Just in the principal's office, they could hand out the books for the kids to sit.
Right. And
there you go. Yeah, you have a little book stand outside the principal's office.
Rather than candy, they can sit and read.
Yeah. There's of course, well, another part of it is like there's a section in the book where they get sent to the office. And I think the problem is like the kids that are buying and reading books aren't getting sent to the office as often as the kids that that I'm writing about. So it's a strange task to try and write a book for kids that Lori pitched it to me as can you write a book for 12 to 13-year-old boys that doesn't suck? Or I think she said that isn't cringe. And I was like, I would love that actually. And I didn't think I was going to write anymore. But the direction to write also a mystery book, I wasn't actually crazy about the mystery until I wrote it. And then I think the mystery part's my favorite part of the book.
It's very natural. It's not forced.
Right. It's not like
we're not getting the Hardy Boys.
Pretty cute.
It might be a little more Hardy Boys than Agatha Christie.
Okay, well,
it's
then,
like
or Nancy Drew. Come on, you know, we're not gender specific.
But the book's about a little boy who loves reading but hates school and he hates being told what to do. And then when his bike goes missing, he ends up leaning on the books that he's reading to help find and retrieve his missing bike. Which is also like, I'm also recognizing that if you're neurotypical reading this book, you might be like, how come he can't remember where he left his bike? Like, what's wrong with this kid? You left a little too,
I've just been beside you.
No, you left a little too hard.
I know. I was gonna say I never even thought about that. I must be like,
I did all the way through the book. Like, who's gonna believe he doesn't know where his bike is? Like he goes to pick up his bike and it's not there, and then he has to go through this process of like, well, if it's not here, where could it be? A lot of people would know where they left their bike, but not this guy. He's a little different.
So he actually misplaced his bike.
Well, I can't give that away.
Or he forgot. You know, I thought maybe it was stolen.
Oh, Theo, you're going to love this book.
Okay.
I sent it to you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep.
And feel free to be cutthroat with it if you're reading it. The only thing is, I'm not ready to have feedback on time dilation.
Your use of pronouns?
It really comes down to tense. No,
tenses.
It's all about tenses because this kid's pretty nonlinear.
Yep.
And one of the first grammatical boo-boos is when you go from past tense to present tense, but this kid he's pretty nonlinear. And there were just things that I know the story would have more flow if I kept it in present tense, but I also felt like would never say it that way. And And Lori's, she's darling. She sent me a character sheet where I can come up with a backstory for the kids.
Yeah.
But I'm more like, I think of a kid, and it's like they're born into my head, and then I think of a problem, and I throw problems at the kids, and I just watch to see how they'll handle it. Like, let's see how Paul does this, or how Bill does that, or it might change as well. Currently, they have some pretty traditional names.
I was in the library today taking those 2 books that I was telling you back, and I wandered around to see if any book would assault me and make me take it home, but none did. But there was one that came close. It was a book by Rudy Rucker that I can't remember having him written, but for some reason I just didn't take it. Don't know why. I really like Rudy Rucker's stuff, but
in the library,
I go to his blog and read his stuff that he posts on there, and it was at the library. Yeah. I can't even remember what the heck the title of the book was. It was fairly big though. So it was one of his later books, and yeah.
I really like a fella named Robert J. Sawyer, and
oh yes, well,
he's Canadian, and you can put him on your Facebook, and he'll talk to you, and he'll comment on your stuff.
Oh yes, I know. Well, I don't go that far, but I know I've read his stuff from his beginning to. I haven't read his most recent work. I can't even remember what the name of it is, but I will have to do that. Yeah, I met him once at a con when it was here. It was I can't even remember the name of the con. What was it? Oh, WesterCon 58. Yeah. And that was good.
Did you read the Neanderthal books?
The Neanderthal trilogy, most definitely.
Yeah, I love that quite a bit.
Yeah, I love that. I love that trilogy.
Wake, where it was.
There was the first it was a lovely premise. Anyway, I just loved the story. Yeah, and we're almost at the point where technology might be able to do some of the stuff that the Neanderthals had going in their dimensional world.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the other one that he, I think it was a trilogy. I've only read the first 2. It's about kind of a reptile civilization that arose on a planet around a gas giant.
Yeah, I remember wanting. I started with the one about the Neanderthals actually, and I tried to work my way backwards. I quite flash forward, or is that what it's called? Flash forward, or something?
Got me. Yeah.
They turned one of them into a TV show. It was about, I think, sort of a big mosaic computer that could predict the future. And right now we're reading Bradbury, who I quite love, Ray Bradbury.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm such a huge fan of Arthur C. Clarke, and I think I just finished an Arthur C. Clarke. And I just started reading a little bit of Stephen King as well, which it's funny because around the time I started reading, I also started drinking coffee. Right. And then so I started drinking coffee while I was working in a cafe. And then if people said, hey, let's go to Tim Hortons, I'd be like, caveman. I recovered from my Stephen King snobbery as well.
The other Robert J. Sawyer trilogy is the one about the internet becoming sentient. And that one was called, I think, Wake, wasn't it?
Yeah, Wake. And
then the 2 after that was a good series. I really like that. I wish
get a couple.
I keep waiting for that singularity to happen.
Yeah, he's got a couple characters who live in my head. I think one of them was named Shoshana Glick or something like that, and just the name I hear all the time, Shoshana Glick.
It's a good name.
But he's quite sweet. Like there's been a few times I was like,
he's a really nice person. Yeah.
getting clobbered by the fascists and those stupid arguments people used to get into, and he'd chime in and I'm like, that's my favorite writer.
That's nice that there's good people.
Yeah, or there's like all these kind of teacher going to battle websites where they're fighting for their rights and stuff. And sometimes I write stuff without really editing myself well enough. And I wrote something that I kind of agreed with the other day to Alberta Teacher Stories. And the author of the site, I don't know who it is, wrote underneath my comment that they liked my comment. And then they wrote that they're a big fan. And I was like, that is such a lovely thing. And it could mean so many things. You know what I mean? Like that could be a former student. That could be a teacher I work with. That could be somebody Jess works with. That could be somebody that saw some of the mouthy things I wrote about our premiere.
Mouthy.
Could have been somebody from the, what?
I said you, mouthy.
Mouthy, yeah. Or it could be also somebody that knew us from the gallery.
It's fun.
Yeah. I get in these moments sometimes when the kids are really like, they're really grooving and I need to leave them alone, but I'm tempted to try and teach them. And that's their hardest spot because like I think the most important things about art teaching is to know when to not mess with them. And sometimes, especially if you know a thing and you want to tell them what to do, but they're sort of like, our friend asked me to make some snowflakes for the Christmas decorations. And I'm like, we're not really decoration class, but sure, I'll ask them around. And the kids felt like making Christmas snowflakes, but they also were figuring out their own way through the tessellations and the paper and the cutting.
Mm-hmm.
So I really had to struggle to keep myself from like making suggestions.
Yep.
So I was just distracting myself sitting at my computer and I Googled, sometimes I Google myself. I know it's vain. I don't apologize. But I Googled the name Teru, wondering like in the world of Terus, where do I come up? And
how many are there?
Well, I'm the 9th Teru that comes up, which I think is pretty impressive if you consider out of the whole world. Paul Teru comes up and Justin Teru comes up and Louis Teru. Those 3 are people I know of. Then there was a soccer player who came up or a baseball player that came up named Teru. And then some of them were like politicians with and then in this case, I was number 9. And Jessica is the 17th most visible Teru in the world.
17. That's a good number.
Jessica Teru.
And and which number were you?
9.
9th. Oh, Jess is better because she's a prime number.
9's a pretty nice number.
Theo, did I tell you the magic of the serial number on the camera I bought?
No.
So I really went down the rabbit hole and spent a few weeks deciding which camera I needed. And then once I decided which camera I needed, it was which iteration I needed because I was getting a vintage camera. And so I ended up going lots of different paths and trying to pick between the M3 and the M4. And then I realized the M5 was like created in the year I was born, but it wasn't the camera I wanted. And then I realized the M4 was created from 1964 to 1974. And then I set the goal of, I'm not going to be able to afford this camera for quite some time. Maybe one of the things I'll do is I'll hold out until I find the camera that was made in the same year I was born. And that'll be kind of a nice nostalgia. But then as I was obsessing, I realized, it looks like there's only 2 in North America right now for sale. And if one of them sells, I'm in a panic. And so I had a conversation with Jess about like wanting to, even though we're on strike and now's not a good time to spend a month's rent on a camera. I was like, I'm starting to feel like this camera might not be there when I'm able to buy it. So we kind of went into the debt situation and bought this camera. But I really wanted it to be, and I kind of had a feeling that I was going to get somewhere between 1970 and 1971. And when I got in the car and I saw the serial number, I recognized what I was looking for. This is definitely either 1970, and there's a 10-year span it could have been. but I was kind of hoping against hope that once I got it shipped from Georgia, that
Georgia.
yeah, the plate, not our friend. But when I finally got it, I was in the car and the street lights, and I'm trying to read the serial number. I was like, I became about 80% sure that it was actually from 1970, not from 1971. And then I zeroed it down right to the month, because you can look up the serial numbers and see what month it was made, because that's how insane people are about this camera. It was 1970, so I was a little disappointed until Jess pointed out that it was 9 months previous to my birthday that this conceived.
There we go.
The same week that Rich was.
Yeah. Yeah, I sent one of my birthday gifts to my grandson Sam. His birthday's on the 21st. And I sent him it's a series, American comics of a particular year. And anyway, I got him. I had one from 2008 when he was born, so I sent him that, and told him the odds are he'll find at least one or two stories in there that he likes.
I grabbed a couple of comic books for Robin in the car when we were driving to Disneyland when she was a teenager, and she was just fixated on TLC, the musicians. And TLC had kind of been broken up for a few years. And so I bought her like 2 new comics and grabbed a handful of old comics I thought she might like. And then she starts showing me in the backseat of this car that TLC is going to have their own TV show. And I was like, that's probably from the 90s, my dear. Like, I'm sorry I didn't teach you about time travel, but
when you were reading magazines.
Yeah, and like weeks had passed between her showing me and me comprehending that the TLC ad was a nostalgic 2000 and whatever 2008 TV show that like TLC lost Lucy Left Eye, and so they were regrouping out of nostalgia. And it was just because it looked like she got that ad from an older comic book that I didn't process that. And the same thing happened in my first year teaching. This kid, Craig Fauner, who's a musician, came into my office while I was listening to the Pixies, and he goes, "Oh, you like the Pixies?" And I was like, "Yeah, I like the Pixies." Like, come on, Fauner, like, how do you even know who the Pixies are? And he's like, "Are you going to go see the show?" And I was like, "Nah, Craig, the Pixies broke up like 10 years ago, duh." And he's like, And then he kind of walks out, comes back in with the playbill, and shows Pixies were playing at the Black Lung, and I was teaching and didn't have a credit card, and so he's like, "Are you getting tickets?" And I was like, "Well, probably not, because and then he tells me they're skipping school the next day to go line up for tickets, and so I just hated him for that. And then my ex-girlfriend, who only knew about the Pixies because we dated in high school and then we dated again when I was 30, phoned me up at 30 to say, "Hey, I got tickets to the Pixies." And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? You don't even like the Pixies. She knew of the Pixies because they opened for U2 in the 90s.
Yeah.
So I did that thing where I felt like I was more entitled to hear the Pixies than everybody else. But that was the first time that getting tickets to something that I knew about, like I'm sure it happened to other people, but it was the first time in my life where I was like really struck by the injustice of like being able to just go online and use your credit card to buy concert tickets when the teenagers are lining up in the streets.
Yeah, and then someone like Ticketmaster gets monopoly power and abuses it, and the entire board of directors is still living, which really bothers me. Being as I'm a person that doesn't go to concerts, I guess I really don't have an axe to grind against them. But if I had been, fanatic, I'd say rough justice was necessary.
I used to like live music, and now I find I'm sitting at a live concert thinking I can't wait to go home and listen to this on my record player.
Well, I only like for me, live music's got to be in a small venue. End of
Oh,
story.
like a stadium show?
End of story. If it's
Yeah.
I think if there's more than 500 people in the building, and it better be really packed to get 500 in. Not interested.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I would not go to a stadium show. We saw like Obama in a stadium, and that was painful too. We spent like life savings.
Do you remember that moment? Like,
yeah,
that was a crazy moment.
that was a rough time because Obama was touring Canada because Trump just
that was the first
took
time.
over.
Yeah.
And it was funny because Obama was rolling hard back then. Everybody still loved him, but out of dignity, after his second term, he's like, well, I guess we're done with this. And so he ended up stepping aside, and then Biden didn't really grip the imagination of the people in the same way. And I so vividly remember when Obama won the first time, the social teacher in my school knows I'm a pinko commie, and she came whipping into my room. She's like, oh my God, Obama won. Aren't you happy? And I was like, well, I am right now. But then when the pendulum swings, we're going to end up with another Ronald Reagan, you know? Little did I know.
Well, to be quite frank, Obama was still a tool of the oligarchy. So, it's just he had a nicer face than either Biden or fuckhead. Yeah, the Democrat Party is just it's the smiley face of America, as opposed to the Republican Party, which is the batshit crazy face of they both only answer to the people that pay them, and it certainly isn't the people, even though technically all of their money is going towards that process. But we've touched on one of my little hot buttons, so. Everyone is still enamored of Obama, and he let the banks walk and get away with absolute evil. So for all that you like him, he was still just a dickhead.
Well, there's still the Senate, right?
Oh well, the American political system is broken.
Right. So the
president, the only chance is more and more people will go into politics that are just a little more concerned about the welfare of their citizens, as opposed to lining their own pockets of themselves and their friends.
I don't know. I more look at that as what a figurehead empowers. Right. So what I liked about Obama, he was a reasonable man with brilliant ideas. And I remember when he was touring Canada, and Dave Kelly was interviewing him. And I think there was a sense that he was probably a little distraught about what was going on in the States in that moment. And Dave Kelly tried to provoke him into saying, not in a negative way, but just like for the sake of an interview, he was like, so tell us about how you feel about, things going on now. And Obama said, and I was really touched by this, he talked about how it might seem obvious that he's not for what Trump was doing. But he said, the thing is that you have to get to know the other.
The knife wood.
What?
The palette knife wood. Oh, no.
What did he say? Well, please tell me what
you have to get to know the other. I thought you were going to try to take the piece off, but you're working on it.
No, I'm not using the palette knife.
I apologize.
Thank you. No, it's okay. I was just wondering what you're saying. He said, until we're invaded by aliens, really, we're probably not going to pull together. But he really felt that having the voice of the other was really important and powerful. He thought that our salvation would be in finding some medium ground. But I kind of see Obama in the same situation that Nenshi was in, that I'm not positive that he was the evil that people say he was, so much as he was kind of trapped by the real power might be in the Senate. So they want to make change, but they're so limited to in what they can get done. It's kind of a waste of time. But we can agree that we're not big fans of Daniel Smith.
Yeah, most definitely.
Theo, would you ever go to the Loose Moose Christmas show? The Christmas card?
I don't know. When is it? I know of Loose Moose, but I've never attended any of their stuff.
Ever?
Pardon?
I'm just shocked. I would have thought that it was you. You seem like I also would. This is another bias I have.
I'm not a going out to shows kind of guy unless I have a specific reason.
Yeah.
I know personally the artists or things like that.
That's funny because we've seen you at so many events, but I think it's because you're doing the I'm
doing CJSW stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a difference. Yes.
That actually explains why you never say hi to us. You just like finish your hours and bolt. Just like, oh, I saw Theo. I'm like, where is he? She's like, I think he left. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Hi. She's
See,
like,
the folk festival. I'm there. I do my garbage duty and I leave. You know, unless there's an artist there that I know personally and I can get to see and talk to them. No, it's not. I'm not a crowd person.
Can you tell me what the word garbage duty means?
Garbage duty?
Yeah.
Oh, we're the ones that tell people where to throw the stuff into the garbage receptacle.
Because of CGSW or because you wanted to do that?
No, that's I do the Folk Fest as a memory for my friend Nina, who loved the Folk Fest. And Terry, her mom, who's my best friend, she started doing it after Nina passed as a memorial, and then she told me about it, and I said, "Yeah, that's great. I'll do that too." So I do garbage duty, and I like it.
That's really
it's
nice.
Fun, you know. I like helping people out and doing stuff, but yeah, as far as going there and sitting and listening to all the shows, no, that's not my cup of tea. So I don't hang around.
We saw Steve Earle at the Jack Singer, and then we saw him a few months later at the Folk Fest.
Mm-hmm.
Should you get a chance to see Steve Earle, highly recommend the Jack Singer if that ever happens again.
Yeah.
That was pretty magic, but the Folk Fest was kind of like, it was kind of I think we ended up regretting going quite a bit. Would you say?
We just about died of hypothermia.
Well, there's things. There's like also the fact that like
the people in front of us.
It got a little damp and they shut the stage down. It's like, I guess I'm used to the Blues Fest where people are just getting electrocuted by the
doing
thunder, the funky chicken on the stage because the blues stops for no man. Like no weather.
Just different.
Yeah, it's a different vibe. Also, there was this like soccer couple that was like, I'm not sure. Maybe they went to the folk festival because their families did it. Like it seemed like it was like more of a thing that they had to do. Like, sometimes people go to church and they're not really wanting to be there, but it's like an obligation in some way.
Yeah.
Maybe this was their family obligation that they had childhood memories of the folk fest, because we were just sitting next to this group and they were laughing about how they brought chairs that were above the limit, but we also couldn't see past and they just were blabbing the whole time. And I didn't want to be one of those like, shut up and listen to the music. But really, I was 10,000% sitting there like biting my lips from saying, shut up and listen to the music. Like, do you guys even like music? Like, what's wrong with you? Why would you come here if you don't like music?
Yep. And, with me, I'm sorry, I would have been saying, shut the fuck up. Well, actually, and I would have been squirting them with my water bottle that I carry around in case it actually gets hot. But that's another reason why I don't go out and deal with crowds, because I will do something that invites a beating.
I kind of think you're gonna like my book.
Yeah.
It starts out and the kid is just enthralled with Moby Dick, where the narrator Ishmael is like prone to going into the street and knocking people's hats off when he's in a bad mood. And it's such a delight for this kid to read that passage that he reads it over and over and over again. It becomes sort of a reoccurring theme in the book. It's a kid that can't stop himself from throwing people's hats off their heads.
There you go. Well, and in Dickens' time, those hats were so easy to topple.
Yeah.
Big, tall stovepipes. Yeah.
Melville. You're close. It was Melville, not Dickens.
Oh, Melville. Pardon me.
No, I'm not trying to correct you. I just thought like.
Yeah, no, you're right. But same time period, roughly. You know.
Yeah, close enough. How's that? I've been thinking about Melville a lot this week because, like I said, Herman Melville didn't get his book really read until 40 years after he died.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of died of failure and wrote Moby Dick and never tried again. And then years after his death, somebody picked up his book. I thought, oh, this might be the great American novel. And so I don't know if I believe in an afterlife, but I hope I have some way of looking down and seeing the success of my new book.
I almost, because I saw it in the library today, Kerouac's On the Road. But then I thought, no, I don't think I can relate to it now because I know the history.
I bet you'd like the Dharma Bombs.
Possibly. They didn't see that one there. I might have picked that one up, but yeah, On the Road, I definitely, it's sort of like, I'd have a hard time reading Tom Wolfe's The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test again.
Yeah.
Because it's just it's so much ancient history that's tied up in my own little emotional headspace that
right.
I really don't want to go through it again.
I was wondering that about Wake, if it would be readable now because technology advanced so fast that it's not science fiction. It's kind of something we're passing through.
I think Wake. Well, I've read it twice. I've read the series twice now.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed it. Yeah, like I say, all it does is, that I got out of that series was, I keep waiting for the singularity. And either it's going to be a nasty one or it's going to be a benevolent one. And being an optimist, I hope it's a benevolent one.
Why would it be?
Why wouldn't it be? Well, it's being trained by humans.
Why would it be, I said. It's never happened before. I mean, you get a puppy and the first thing you do is cut its nuts off and then you cut off its tail. I think we'll make great pets. What? Did I go over the line there?
How benevolent.
Well.
Even like.
And we think it's a courtesy, right? Or we're doing the puppy a favor by removing the signs of life.
Oh.
Why'd you take that tail off? Oh, well, they get in the way.
It's not aesthetically pleasing. Then again, we've taken wolves and, through genetics, basic birthing control, we've produced little doggies that are smaller than your average house cat.
Hey, I was driving a school day up the 1A, and I saw 10 magpies and a coyote eating a dead deer.
Yeah.
And, when I went by, that coyote spiked me hard. He was just like doing his own thing. I really love to see how the coyote and the magpies and the crows had no problem kind of chilling and snacking on this deer together. There's no animosity amongst the beasts.
Yeah, the scavenger.
Well,
but when I went by that coyote looked me right in the eye. Like I'm going 110, 101 up the highway, and he looked me right in the eye because I had my hand on the other thing is I drive out to Cochrane every day with my hand on my new camera. And I never really thought about taking pictures out the window until one of my staff members came and said, I thought, because there's two cars that go to Cochrane. One is my car with me in it, and the other one's my exact car with a stranger in it. And they must cut people off because I feel like there's a lot of people on the highway that think I'm somebody else. But the foods teacher at my school is like, I saw you. I was driving home behind you the other night. And I was like, is that Rich or is that the other Volkswagen? And then I saw the arm come out the window and take a picture of the mountains. I'm like, that must be Rich. I was like, don't tell people I take pictures while I'm driving. But I'm basically waiting until I get my first distracted driving citation.
There you go.
To learn my lesson, as we spoke about before.
Lessons, yeah. As we spoke about before. Just circle back.
When I first got my motorcycle, I remember thinking I was going to save up $150 and then just pick a day and ride around till I got pulled over for not having a helmet. And that's basically was the charge for not having a helmet on. And I just thought I'm going to give myself permission to go bareheaded on my motorcycle for a day.
Remember, everyone was bareheaded in California.
It feels so good. I know I should not spread this rumor, but riding a motorcycle without a helmet on, it's not safe, but it's fun.
No, one of my favorite cartoonists died because he was a motorcycle freak and he refused to wear a helmet. And he eventually got nailed by a bad driver. And
maybe he was living for being on a motorcycle. Maybe he didn't die from.
No, he was a surfer first. The bike was just a way of getting around.
Right.
And he was, Rick Griffin was the guy's name. Yeah, he was brilliant fucking cartoonist and illustrator.
Yep.
And he lived for the waves. Very free spirit, so consequently, I'm not going to wear a helmet. But unfortunately, fate intervened and banged him. And who knows? He might have died if he'd been wearing a helmet. I don't know.
Or people will often say to me,
I've had friends who just doing bicycle riding,
or walking down the street,
with wearing a helmet, and they had an accident. And if they hadn't been wearing a helmet, they'd probably be dead because the helmet got cracked.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when I broke my arm riding my motorcycle in December, it seemed pretty obvious that the care unit was not interested in being polite to me. And then I said to my friend Neil, almost seemed like they're mad at me. He's like, all I hear is motorcycle in December. I was like, I suppose I have to live up to that one. I can't really. And then I get by on that one at all. Am I painting Keith Richards? None of these were meant to be Keith Richards, but I'm not. I'm just playing. I'm at play in the fields of the Lord right now.
I saw the one lady's profile that you painted, and I was so enthralled by it.
Yeah. Oh, I painted it. I think I ruined it though.
I tried to duplicate it.
You got a big chin, that lady.
You just get this.
It's because you also are starting to see more pictures of your face. Because now we're shooting closer up photos with the new cameras. Hey.
I really liked that nose you had.
Yeah.
The long Roman nose. It's one of my favorites. Is that mine?
Yeah.
No.
The woman knows.
Roman.
The Roman woman.
I really want to watch Bugs Bunny right now. Or Meatballs. Woody the Wabbit. Hui. I'm afraid of spillage. That's going to hold.
Okay.
I always make the chins too small, so I was trying to make it a bit bigger. This one I did pretty good.
Wait for a minute.
Those are all beautiful. Do you want to put the camera on your stuff for me?
No, I'm good.
What should I draw then? A Roman nose?
Oh yeah, I love big noses.
Can you grab me your camera?
Okay.
Is it nearby? Is that it right over there? I'm pinned down by all these paintings.
I know, it's okay.
I gave my other camera. It's so weird how our lives work out because Jesse and I really lived blessed lives, and I decided I wanted a K2. I wanted a Pentax K1000, and Jess's mom inherited me from Jess's uncle a K2, and I shot on that for about a year, and then one day I put up some photos, and Koos gave me what did he give me? Spotmatic. And then it seems really like grotesque to say, but I almost feel like sometimes Jess and I give so much away, and then we've got nothing left, and then as soon as I want something, it just lands in my lap. And I'm not sure if I believe it's karma, but it's kind of uncanny how things show up for us when we need them. Like I was on teacher strike, and I broke the camera because I used it so much that I wore the lever out. I just need a camera that's going to last. I can't keep going through this like betrayal of the equipment not working. And then the other thing is because we're using like older vintage stuff because that's the kind of photos we wanted to make. You run into the sogginess of the older materials, right? Like, okay, so the other camera was made when you were born, and the other camera was made when I was born, and so we have these old Pentaxes, and they kind of like there's a reason why your uncle got a newer camera, right? Just like whenever my parents gave me a desktop computer, it was like it was already getting a bit sluggish for them. So it's funny that like the cameras that we just got won't probably get sluggish for us because they're such high quality. But you know, I remember like a year and a half ago trying to seek out a Pentax K1000. I was like, I'm not going to be able to get one for like $600. Like that's going to be, I can get a broken one for $400, or I can get a refurbished one for $900. And I was like, and I just gave that camera to Oliver, so he's pretty stoked to get a fresh start and new way of thinking. And then so Jess has this new Leica, and seems like everywhere we went, people kind of take a double take and like, should you be shooting on a Leica? That happened, right? Like it's like an entitlement. And I guess it's the same like when you're on a bicycle and you run into somebody that doesn't look like they bike very much, and they're on a $5,000 bicycle, and you're like, what are you doing there, bud?
I don't know, because like sometimes, like I was thinking about art supplies and that kind of thing. It's like if I see someone with banging art supplies, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, because
is it that maybe a level of confidence that we have all the art supplies we want, and then the friction we've kind of had about like, wait, where do you get off having this camera? And nobody actually said that to us, but if I add up all the responses, there's probably like 10 really warm, sweet moments that had this collectively a little bit of sense of like the guy at the store really hurt my feelings, you know, and it wasn't that he was like calling me a bonehead, because I was really relaying the question you asked, right?
I don't know anything about
but mostly that like I was bothered that he was trying to butter me up by putting somebody else down, and it just so happened that I was the other person.
That sucks when that happens.
And I just don't think that way. Like, it doesn't make me feel closer to gang up on somebody who's stupid. It's worse if I'm the stupid person. And even worse than that, if I'm like quoting my wife, like, I'm not really sure what she means, but she said like she can't shoot inside. Like,
well, because on my Spotmatic, it's like I probably just again didn't know how to use the things.
Yeah. Well, now we know.
Right.
And guess what? It wasn't that hard.
No.
One nice thing though, in the world of the expert, and Theo, I think maybe you might be of the tribe that does not appreciate the use of AI. Is that true?
Well, I think AI has lots of potential for use in terms of science and discovery and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
The use that is going to generate all of the money, though, appears to be replacing humans work, one, and at the expense of a shitload of electrical power generation, and two, just silliness, using other people's copyrighted works, intellectual property, and manipulating it to, so there's good and bad with it, all of it. And
how do you feel about Jessica jamming her camera at 2:00 in the morning and be able to go, ChatGPT, tell me if I've destroyed this machine, and then having it tell us exactly what to do to uncreate this problem?
Well, see, there's and the whole thing is that there's a lot of what's the correct term? A large language model, as opposed to AI. I hate the term AI simply because it implies that it's actually intelligent. It's not. It's just a database that can access untold gazillions of bits of data, and it can answer questions for you and things like that. But then they've given it the opportunity to hallucinate, and you can get answers back that do not have reality in mind. That's pretty scary because people are pretty trusting.
So when it comes to things like Philip K. Dick books and Blade Runner and those sorts of things, or Star Trek, or even actually, it was just this year I realized, just like where Star Trek was this utopia of learning, once they came up with the food replicators, there was no reason to have jobs, and therefore they were able to dedicate themselves to art and science. Star Wars, they had this like ongoing, the way they treated the robots was so cruel that if anybody was nice to C-3PO, it felt like a real special moment. Like, they really had a slave culture in Star Wars that people don't talk about, but the robots are all these indentured slaves, and is that the right word?
Yeah.
And I was kind of like moved by all the robot stories where it's like, why are we deciding when the robot gets to have a persona? So I'm not saying I look at the AI and thinking like I'm defending its freedoms, but I do sort of feel like I can craft sentences in ChatGPT that would be impossible in Google, right? So when you're searching for stuff, you can get a much more flexible way of finding things, and then you can double back and be like, are you telling me something that's real? I'm like, no, I just got excited and I wanted to say something, so I answered you. Jess does a lot of that too. I'm like,
you remind me of my wife.
Yeah, she's so eager to help. She just say stuff whether it's true or not.
She does look the answer up after though.
Yeah,
and I never do that in class. I always Google it before I answer in class. To you, you get a special version of me that's very carefree.
Yeah. I opened up my lens to put my lens on, and I saw this little knob, and I was like, is that a screw? And I just touched it, and then when I put my camera together and I looked out the window, it's like my rangefinder's a little off. I'm like, did I just unscrew the rangefinder? Like, and I flipped out, but I was able to use the ChatGPT to find out what I did, and all I did was spin a wheel that's designed to spin. So I had one of those moments where my wife said under her breath, I can't believe I married this guy.
I didn't say that whole sentence.
Something
I just
like
laughed.
That. It was on your
I just went, oh.
It was laced into the laughter. The cackle, really.
Oh, yeah. I cackled.
Cackle. Oh, the cackles are the best.
It was a cackle. You're right.
We were celebrating witches today. Yes?
Oh, yes. I was reading Half Hanged Mary just earlier. I always have to read it at this time of year.
The book again?
The poem is called Half Hanged Mary. It's about a woman who was hanged
in half.
But she only was half hanged because she
If
didn't
I
die.
wasn't a witch then, I am now.
Yeah, that's the best line.
I need a line for my book, and I can't remember where I got it from. Somebody was talking. I think Steve Earle said it at Folk Fest. He was quoting Dylan, but he said something along the lines of, you record an album and you go into the studio, and they lay down this track and they get the perfect snare drum sound, and then they lay down another track and they get the perfect bass. And then they do all the different parts, and by the end of the record, everything's perfect but the record. And I'd really like to use that quote in my book, but I got to find where it came from.
So we just got to watch all of the Bob Dylan documentaries.
Also, this month there's an expanded version of Chronicles coming out, and in 2027, Chronicles 2 is coming out.
No.
Yeah.
What's the Chronicles?
It's Bob Dylan's book about his life.
So the first volume, I think, went up to which album? Like Modern Times?
With Daniel Lanois.
Yeah. Political World. And then there's a volume 2 that we've been waiting for, and we were like, Bob Dylan, you can't die until you put out volume 2.
Volume 1 has an extended version coming out, so it's just longer. And it might not be as good, maybe it's good when you edit things down, but
also we listened to the audiobook, and who does the reading?
Chronicles is by
Sean Penn. What a good narration of Chronicles on audiobook.
Actually, when I was doing the Dharma Bums on audiobook, it was Ethan Hawke. And I go through phases where I can't stand Ethan Hawke. I want to like Ethan Hawke, but I just don't. And when I heard him do the Dharma Bums, that's how we ended up watching all those Ethan Hawke movies.
Yeah.
Who's Ethan Hawke?
The kid from Dead Poets Society.
Okay, one of the actors from Dead Poets. I can't remember any of them, but okay. What other movies has he done?
There's a movie called Boyhood where they follow this kid growing up. They spent I think 12 years shooting it. So the kid's just a toddler in the beginning.
Yeah.
And they follow him to adulthood.
Wow.
And so he's done a few Richard Linklater projects.
Yeah, Linklater. Before Sunrise too. Right?
Before Sunrise and After Sunset and all those bits and pieces. And
Ethan Hawke with an E?
I don't know.
I don't know. Let's see.
I'm sure I'll find it.
What is this, a spelling test?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
Yes, with an E, yes.
Yeah.
I've been using Duolingo
obviously
to try and learn some of the mother tongue. And I find it really aggressively yelling at me all the time.
Gattaca. We just watched Gattaca.
Gattaca.
Great Expectations.
Oh, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do the time warp now.
Kelly, what are you so blabby about tonight?
Explorers was great with Hawk. Oh.
He was a kid. I think he's in there with
Before the Devil Knows You're Dead was really good.
Oh, that was good and painful. Yeah,
painful.
Did Calvin join us? I sent him a link. Oops.
My goodness gracious.
Oh,
What's happened?
Well, I wanted to see who was responding to this, and instead of like seeing who clicked like,
Yeah.
I clicked like on my own thing.
You could like it.
Well, I wouldn't write it if I didn't like it. Are you ending the show? What are you doing?
No, I'm just looking at.
Oh, I see.
Join. Lots of people on Instagram.
I wonder if our friend from the camera store knows. Joined us in.
Everything's fine. I'm
I am excited about that new lens.
excited about watercolor.
I watercolor. Oh, hey. Have I got
Oh,
and some learning.
therefore I am.
Is that 2 or 1?
I don't know. I have to look.
I'm almost like blown away how cavalier you are with these separation sheets. Because I'm like, how do you know you're not getting 2 sheets? You're like, fiddly, la-di-da. There we go.
What were
Here.
you gonna say?
No, this is a
About
good treat.
learning.
Sit in this chair. I need to trade spots with you because I can't get out this. I'll get out this way. Hold on.
No, I can move.
Why don't we both move? That'll solve the problem. No, it won't. Oh, my legs fell asleep while I was sitting there. Also, why am I wearing winter boots? Are you in the spot?
Do you want me to go over here?
Yeah. We learned a thing, Theo.
Pardon?
We learned a thing.
Excellent.
Well, it's
We're learning.
I'm
So
trying to mute, but because I'm going to turn on the mass heat thingy.
Just
And
make sure.
it's not muting, so can you mute me?
yes.
I'll do the math.
Just mute. No.
No, mute math. It's a band.
Oh.
We don't have any mute math on vinyl, BTW. Okay.
No, you're right. We have holy F bomb.
What did you say?
We have holy F bomb.
Right, we did.
That's math.
Math rock.
Math.
Tonight. Do you see this right here? B.
Boku.
Yeah.
Bokutan.
You were going to take a picture in the dark with that.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
I don't have film in it.
That's not a problem. We have film over there.
Do you want me to move any of my stuff?
Yeah. Move that in the light. Get it on screen.
I am not done it yet.
Now I have this for this, but I might not keep. This might as well stay with this because I don't think this brush will be any good for anything.
Does it have to be finished?
What?
Does it have to be finished?
You're doing more to this?
I thought so.
Oh, do you have one else that you did? How about this?
I'm not done any of them. I was gonna.
Can you be done one?
Oh, I'm such a pain in the butt. None of them are finished.
Okay. This one's finished. I'm sure of it. Do you want to grab one of mine?
Yes.
I thought it'd be nice to celebrate. Okay, grab the bar seam.
Okay. I appreciate that, but I'm not done.
Huh.
I have to do layers. And this is a new thing.
Donkeys have layers.
No,
Okay.
ogres have layers.
Right.
Like
Okay.
onion.
You're right.
I thought about that line as I was cooking today. What's in this? This is so exciting.
You can read. It's got a great smell.
Gambling?
By the way, we're not doing like product licensing for products, but this is a new product for us that we're going to share with you. This is my painting. This, I think you can scoop some of this up. Look at. Not exactly sure what's happening there.
Okay, we learned a new thing. So it's not dry yet. Jesus. You're so free-spirited. So I took classes in ACAD for watercolor, and I think her name was Wyjanuska. She was very serious.
Every time Jess says something about art that I don't like, it's because she learned it in this watercolor class, and it's like a rule that she's like fixated on.
Like, you can't use black. You have to mix green and red.
Like we did a wall mural with Mark, and what I would do is take this and spread it around evenly, and then use that to
I'm just so afraid.
don't fear the reaper.
Okay, so watercolor. she was trained, and then she was training, and then I always
Can you just put some elbow grease in there?
I tell the kids, like, guys, because they're like, where's the white? I'm like, I was taught by this lady
Just look at, hold on.
that
What you're
wouldn't
doing?
let us use white. You had to
You just
plan.
glob it on.
Oh my God,
then
you're
you
just
just-
scraping along your beautiful watercolor.
Yeah, but it doesn't. That's the whole point. Is it doesn't cause any problems.
What are you putting down?
Wax.
Cold wax.
Ah,
So so this is where we're getting to this. Is I was like, my back gets up because I'm like, I don't know
Here,
about
scrape
this.
it around.
And then
I don't think you need more.
I
don't mean to be so pushy.
I'm
but
also getting
Scrape
better
it, scrape
at
it.
listening to
There we go,
Rich
there we go.
because I
Gotta live a
know
little.
that the lady was very intense. So I'm like, hey, I don't want to say no to art. I'm an inclusionist. I want to learn new things.
so what does the wax do for you?
You're not
It's like
buttering bread here. You want to scrape it evenly so it's everywhere. Put some gusto.
Is
in
that
it.
a finishing thing?
Yeah.
yes. So
Ah.
That's why Jess kept saying she wasn't finished.
I
I wasn't really listening.
I Googled it because I was like, when did this come into
Okay, hi. Scrape.
when did,
And the wax,
No, scrape it.
I'm not
put
doing-
anything on top of the wax as well? Like, do you spray it with a varnish or?
No, it's instead of a
No.
varnish, you put wax on it.
Okay, so
Okay.
because with the watercolor, the traditional thing was that you wouldn't have the watercolor would be like left alone, and this woman like ingrained all of these, like, this is the
Usually put glass over water.
yeah
So it was a traditional way of putting a preservative on the watercolor.
well, this is not a traditional way. This is like
Pure chaos.
this is like 90s expressionism, like experimental mixed media artists led to this. So
Okay.
the wax
Here's to the
turns to a sealer
Yeah.
and gives it a really beautiful that's why Rich keeps saying scrape it, because it gives it a really beautiful matte finish.
Mm-hmm.
Here, try this. Just move that aside. And then that one I did already.
And that's like cured, so it takes a while.
And then try spilling something on it.
No,
Mm-hmm.
I would never do that.
Oh, I'm gonna put it under the sink and see what happens.
Oh my God,
No, let me
The
just.
paper will get wet.
Will it?
the wax.
Just let me sit there for one second.
Wherever the wax isn't, it will get wet.
So
Well, since I've been
stressful.
scraping so vigorously, I have faith that there isn't a wax isn't. What if I just took this water and poured it onto my,
It'll beat up.
let's say I sneezed on here.
That is
Pure chaos. Look at this. I don't even know who I am anymore.
so. Yeah, it was with the dawn of more mixed media artists,
Mm-hmm.
Dawning of the age of Aquarius.
and
I am so excited because you could spit, you could sneeze on your watercolor. Can you see that? Is it as fun for you as it is for me? It's not touching the. Oh, there, I just poured off. That is brilliant. Look at it, just beads up.
I've taken to using resists lately,
Yeah.
just to protect areas that I can then happily slop all over with the fields that I want, and then I can just wash it off.
that's really nice.
Is that too saucy to be on screen? Maybe.
I don't think so.
Did I paint that on screen?
I don't think so.
Yeah, let's wax that one. Let's see how that one turns out. Uh-oh.
Oh,
It's a ping from my
tattooed lady.
Yeah.
Nice.
We're listening to the Illustrated Man.
Mm-hmm.
But I also sort of think that one of the nice things about the wax is it should sort of liven it up a bit. Can you hit that light over there?
Hit the
You gotta
light.
step on it.
This one? Yeah. I have hit this bookshelf so hard so many times tonight.
Okay, ready for this?
All of my.
So this is
Did you clean the old wax off? Yeah.
did I?
I think so. Oh my. You are so fearless.
What's to be afraid of?
Oh, so much. I am so fearful of everything.
You're like buttering it like this. I'm like, I'm gonna scream if you don't stop that.
Well, I
Look at you can see how it goes from matte to like.
It's like an eggshell. It's not gloss. It's like
nice,
a really nice surface. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not buttering toast here.
I was trying to pay attention to where I had the stuff.
Yeah, but you can just put it everywhere. Sometimes I just need you to join in on the chaos, okay?
It's so hard for me. I was not a kid like you, Bill.
Do her knee again.
What?
Do her knee again.
Oh, I'm gonna do the whole thing.
I know, but
I love how this looks, though.
Yeah.
And I love how it feels. I love
do
everything.
the knee because it's
You're not the boss of me.
yeah,
Look at this. Watch this, Theo.
yeah,
Oh, I skipped the knee.
yeah. You did. It's
You're like
driving me insane. There.
There we
That's
go. How do you
better.
feel now?
I'm not OCD or anything, but
How you like
it's
me now?
bugging me.
How you like me now, Theo?
Yeah, you're tolerable now. Before I hated you.
What did we come up with a nickname for me with Felix the other day? Something came up where somebody was referencing me. They're like, "Oh, I know your dad," and we called me Rich the not the unbearable. It was nicer than that. Well, it wasn't like Rich the Incredible either. It was like Rich the Unbelievable Rich or something. What was that? What was it that somebody called me?
Captain Nefarious.
I like that, but no.
Oh,
It's
well,
more. It might have been incredible. No, it wasn't incredible because incredible is actually.
I'm trying to think. You're right.
It was definitely a multi-layered.
Oh my gosh! This is now so multi-layered. There's one hunk right there.
No, I know.
It's the knee. You got a plan.
What was the word? I really liked it because it was kind of like meant to be.
Oh, you're right.
It was meant to be a
took me
burn, I
while
think,
to
and
get
I-
back to that headspace. I'm trying to think.
And I really liked that they called me this. Like, it was along the lines of intolerable for sure, but
Paper towel?
unlikely. No. Oh, look at that come up. I also like the name Flammable Dave.
I was just away from the camera for a bit. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, yeah, sorry. We're just.
I actually just sold 2 bears to a repeat person that bought something from me this year.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Beauty.
Yeah, and 3 paintings.
That's awesome, Kelly.
Yeah, finally something's happening.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like also maybe us not selling our stuff at Rumble every week creates an opportunity for people to want your stuff, you know? It might be that we made ourselves a little too available.
Well, they saw my stuff at the cat show, and they bought a bear off me, and she was saying that she needed a companion for the other bear. So she bought my Michael Myers bear.
Did I get all the stuff on this one?
So
Oh, I
that's,
did a good job.
and then another bear named Candy.
Yeah?
So that makes me happy, and I know they're going to good homes. So
That's lovely.
Now I gotta work on more bears. I was actually just gonna pour a resin. I know Rich likes Star Wars, and so I found a mold that is the Millennium Falcon, and I'm gonna make a resin of the Millennium Falcon with the lights inside of it.
Cool.
Hey, are you a big Star Wars fan?
I like Star Wars. I grew up with it.
So I have a question for you. Ready?
Yeah.
They would ride tauntauns, not camels.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And they had Ewoks instead of bears.
Yeah.
They had what's your skirt? They had Wookiees. That's gonna get everywhere. You gotta change that skirt. Your leg went in the sticky part. So it's a different planet, right?
Yeah, I know.
So what's a falcon? Why would they call it a falcon?
It's called the Millennium Falcon
Yeah, why would they call it that?
because it flies.
Well, but what's a falcon?
It's a bird. Not sure exactly, but
Why do they have falcons, but they don't have, turtles?
Yeah, they probably had a type of bird back
Did I
then.
just scratch this tonight? When did these scratches come?
Okay, beautiful people, I'm going to run.
Bye,
Have a wonderful week.
Too.
Yeah. Have a great week, Theo.
We're just adjusting to being back to teaching.
Ciao, ciao.
Have a great night. See you. Yeah. Yeah. Let's head out.
Do you want to sing to us? First there was Gorilla House, then there was the Rumble House.
Now there's the Isle of Roux, where no one can tell us what to do.